It's that time. Welcome to another episode of Little Talks, your weekly dose of marketing news and insights from Littlefield Agency.
Brenda, thank you so much.
Thank you. Always. Brenda, thank you so much.
It is. I wish I could thank you over here, but where are the ladies? They're actually all in meetings right now.
Except, well, here.
Can you see the media and analytics team?
Yeah.
Behind us? No.
No. It's weird because right immediately behind us, Sarah was posing. Immediately behind us, it looks like there's no one.
But then
5 feet that way,
there's a ton of people.
There's like 7 people.
And we specifically chose this location for our topic today.
Yeah.
Tom can come and wave. Hey, we've got some great announcements. We had a wonderful week in Ohio last week with Ditch Witch on a shoot. And 4.5 days, Brandon? Is that right? Brandon went as far to say it was one of his all-time favorite shoots at the agency.
It's the reason why the podcast was so terrible last week, because Brandon was out being awesome somewhere else.
We apologize. I don't think it was as terrible as you're playing it out to be. I'm sure this one's going to be much better.
It was terrible for me.
But Brandon, Katie Kite, Reynolds, they spent the week with Ditch Witch, and they said it was awesome. I think it's just great that they had that time with them.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Yeah, and you'll see that work.
I mean, it'll be in Q4 for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We have officially landed. Drum roll, please.
This is next topic.
Rib Crib. Rib Crib was a client of ours and took everything in-house during the pandemic, rightfully so. We totally understand it. We had an open line of communication. That partnership ended really well given the circumstances of a pandemic. Sean Ferguson and I have stayed in touch. He's a good friend, but also a great client. And they've officially signed. We are super excited. We are going to be handling all things media and analytics with him and his team. And it's good to be back, man. It's good to be back in the QSR space.
Yeah. When we were just thinking about them as a brand, there's the Rib Crib brand.
Dude,
and that's what we worked with then. And
yeah.
As the pandemic was hitting, and since then, now they're not, the Chandler Hospitality Group is not just Rib Crib, though.
Society Burger,
Foxy Tacos.
Make It Splash.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, totally.
They're kind of thinking beyond the brisket. And
wow. Did you plan that? Beyond the brisket?
That's just off top. It's all jazz in here. It's all jazz.
Dang, that's good.
But it's exciting to see how much they are expanding and growing.
Absolutely.
And coming out of the pandemic. So yeah, you're right. Sean's great.
So lots of Rib Crib in our future. It is good to be back with them. Yeah. Him and Steve and team, they're great guys. They've got great Q. And even if you're not
are you trying to get in on it,
aren't you? How'd you know? Oh man, we have one more announcement. I'm gonna let you take it away.
Okay, yeah. Sam can't do this one because this one's about Sam.
Really weird.
Incidentally, Sam wrote the script this week. I had nothing. It's the first time seeing it.
Come on, man.
So if you followed our social channels, which we hope you do, Sam had an honor bestowed upon him. Was it last week?
It was announced earlier this week, and it was announced earlier this week.
In the family-owned business category, Sam was named Entrepreneur of the Year in Tulsa by the Chamber.
Yeah, which was super cool. And so it's funny. It's like a weird brag, but I'm not bragging because I want to walk through. Someone nominated me in June. I got an email saying, "You've been nominated for this," and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice." I have no idea who nominated. Was it you?
No.
Okay.
I could say yes.
No.
That'll make the person come forward, right?
Well, and the thing, I have no idea. And so I was like, okay, this is a long shot. And it was an intense application form. I spent about 3.5 weeks with the application. They ask agency financials. They ask some very just pointed questions in the sense of how you run your business. What are your values? What do you value? Talk to us about your culture. Talk to us about your business. What is your growth potential? And then you have to have 2 official letters of recommendations. And I had 2 amazing CEOs in our Magnet CEO Network group, one out of Phoenix and one out of Dallas, that wrote a really, really nice note. And so, it's funny how life works. At a rough day, found out 2 weeks ago, maybe early last week. I had a rough day, and I'm sitting at the dinner table, and we're with the kids and Tara, and I get an email, and it's like, "Hey, you won this thing." And I was like, "Holy cow!" I totally needed this too because it was a long day. So I'm super excited. There is an awards reception September 13th, a networking thing. Mayor Bynum and Mike Neal, the head of the chamber, are there to kind of bestow the awards. And there's an actual reception later that evening at the Summit Club downtown.
Do you get a trophy?
I don't think so. And if I do, I'm putting it on your desk.
Yeah, I want to see we'll feature the trophy on the podcast.
But here's the thing, right? It's in my name. It has nothing to do with me. It happens to do with Brandon and Roop and the whole team here. And I explicitly said that, right? We have an amazing agency, and I was lucky enough to be nominated, but it's because of the people, right?
Yeah.
And the great work that our clients let us do. We have our clients to thank. So for those listening, we appreciate everything you let us do, because without you, we wouldn't get to do the great work.
And he's being humble, but Sam works very, very hard here. I mean, it doesn't seem like it on this podcast, I know, but the dude hustles like no one I've ever seen. So it's a well-deserved honor.
I appreciate it, man. I do appreciate it.
It's true.
Okay, so we have one topic today, and I've had a lot of new business prospective calls in the last 3 weeks, and there's a buzzword, right? And it makes sense given the time of year, and it is planning. 2024 planning, whether your fiscal is in September or November or January 1st, 2024. Everyone's mind is now, summer is almost over. It basically is. We're back to school.
Labor Day's coming up in another week and a half.
Every year, middle of August, we can rely on prospects, our clients. People are back at it. It's back to the grind. It is a mad dash towards the holidays. And as I've had these prospective calls, I've had many in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and it is all about your marketing and media planning. And so we thought, okay, couldn't ask for a better location with no one behind us, even though they are all here at the agency.
They're all planning.
To talk. They are all planning. Media and analytics planning. So we want to talk to you, our prospective customers. For those clients that are listening, you're very much entrenched in this process. But what does that process look like? And let's just kind of paint a picture of what we do over the next couple of months, because I just got invited to a golf thing. Like the group said, I do work. I denied the golf thing because we have so much going on this time of year as we prep our clients, we bridge them over, and we get into 2024.
Yeah, it's a lot. And that, I think on the script, we're just going to talk about the media and analytics part of planning. But
yeah, for sure.
There's also content planning.
Well, and that's the thing. So you will see on the script here that you guys can't see, thinking beyond media, paid media especially, because and that is very much in your realm. I do want you to talk to us about that. So one major thing is I have a lot of prospects that have to, you just kind of put together a Facebook plan and some Google, and it's like, yeah, well, there's so much more to that, right? The research that Kelly, the account team, Chris, et cetera, are doing, just in the sense of your target audience, how are they digesting media? Media means so many things in the sense of not just social, everything digitally. You think about broadcast, you think about connected TV. There are a lot of different ways for you to get in front of your target audience these days.
And new opportunities all the time.
And new opportunities. Right. And again, that goes beyond paid media.
Yeah.
You look at Chelsea Clements doing a lot of research right now for her clients before she goes on maternity leave. She used No Scheduled Meeting Day on Tuesday to kind of dive into that. Do you know what the average attention span of Gen Z is?
Oh, God, it's going to be less than 4 seconds, right?
1.3 seconds.
So I was right.
She slacked that to me, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. And she's like, no, she was like, we have to think so differently. And again, that is why Chelsea is so good at her job. I hate to pay her compliment, but we have to. How do you evolve your content, right? How do you, for those, the up-and-coming Gen Z, they're not going to watch that 10-minute video.
No.
Maybe at a certain time and place, but how do we capture their attention? It's things like that. So we present that research to our clients to back up why we are providing the plan that we are providing for their next fiscal year. Have any thoughts there?
No, I think I would say we don't need to compliment Chelsea anymore, but otherwise,
that's a great thought.
Yeah.
So, as part of this planning, right, there's a media brief that's involved. And it's a very collaborative environment with our clients in understanding marketing objectives, business goals. Our marketing objectives are aligned with your business goals for your next year. Of course, your goal is sales. But as we get into the analytics piece of it, I sat in a meeting yesterday with a prospect based out of Oklahoma City, but their VP of marketing is in Atlanta. And they're putting budgets together for 2024, hence this is why we're having this conversation. And Chris did an amazing job in walking her through his actionable analytics. Don't get us wrong, impressions are great, clicks are great, but what are they doing once you deliver that lead to your doorstep? It's really, really important. I think of it in the sense of you invite me into your home. If I go and
I leave you.
But if I don't sit down at the dinner table and break bread with you, it's a lost cause.
Yeah, we didn't reach our goals. The goal is important for the planning.
And there's different goals.
Yeah.
And that's Chris's whole program, which I wish we could have a screen and walk you through it, but it's a great way for you to potentially talk to us.
I think there's some articles on the site.
There's some articles on the site. We've got some slides to kind of capture that information, but really looking at every piece of content has an objective and has a goal. Okay? On a social awareness ad, we're not expecting you to convert to buy a piece of $25,000 machinery. It's strictly awareness. If that actually gets you to the website, fantastic. We have media tools in place to get you back to the website if you're not ready to convert. Mm-hmm. But understanding and what we call feeding the funnel, right? From awareness down to consideration down to eventual conversion. Mm-hmm. Conversions could be you're downloading a sales sheet. It could be you're filling out an RFI form. It could be you're contacting your dealer.
You're watching a video.
You're watching a video. You made an e-commerce purchase.
Yeah.
We have that information to understand how are we getting people to sit down with you at the dinner table. But if they're not ready to sit down with you at the dinner table, how do we get them back so they eventually do that?
Yeah, how do you nurture them along to the point where they're ready to do that?
So we call that actionable analytics. And there's, I look at our program 5 years ago. We would go, man, the click-through rate on that ad was really good. And we didn't know anything else, right? So it's great to have a high click-through rate, but Chris has the analytics to show, okay, hey, this had a high click-through rate, but man, the conversions were low. And this click-through rate was a little bit lower, but man, we had triple the amount of conversions. And that's the information that we need to understand what creative is resonating and what creative is pushing people further down the funnel to actually make a purchase.
Yeah, which is a good point. It's not really a turn on, just run it and that's it for the next year. There's constant kind of evaluation of are we meeting the plan's goals? Are we making adjustments along the way? And not just in the media world, but how does it affect creative and the messaging and everything else?
I always joke with my dad. I think about the good old days of he would run media, right? And it would be print,
oh yeah,
outdoor, and television, and radio. And he would set the plan, and the plan would run for a year, and he'd call his client and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, are your sales up? They are? Great. We're going to sign on for year 2. Now, right, Kelly calls it a living, breathing document. It is always changing. So the plan that we set for you in 2024 very well is at the end of 2024 may not be the original plan that we started with because we are learning so much through optimizations. Beth and Tom and Chris are making optimizations on a daily basis, leading to weekly, leading to our quarterly reviews. And we are going to allocate money differently than we originally anticipated because we are understanding what is working better for you, Mr. or Mrs. Customer, and most importantly, with your customers.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk in the sense of content, Rube, of paid media is absolutely necessary, especially in the B2B world, and getting engaging and getting in front of your target audience. But if the content isn't great, and we have the analytics to prove that, I want you to talk about just kind of some content strategy as you prep with our media and analytics team for our clients.
Yeah, so this is also technically content planning season that we're entering into.
It's a busy season.
Yeah, it is. And for us, content planning starts with who are we creating content for? We learn who those people are through persona work. Then we're aligning that against new products or services or angles that we think are going to be interesting to people. Content creation is all about answering a problem for somebody. So for us, we're looking at, someone says, how do I do this? Or what's the safest way to do that? You want to be the answer to those questions. It has nothing to do with, I want to buy your thing. It's peripheral to that to catch those folks that are in that headspace. So there's a little bit of an awareness play there. There's a little bit of a brand affinity play there. You're wanting to align yourself as, if I invite you to my house and you don't like me because I'm saying things or
totally.
My politics are off from you or whatever,
totally.
that's abrasive. So you want to align with people in a way that you want your content to align with people in a way that when they're ready to make the purchase, they're thinking about you and they're comfortable with you already.
I think it's gotten better in the B2B world. Behind that business making a purchase is a human.
Yeah.
And guess what? We as humans don't want to be sold all the time. We have some clients that we've worked with before. And they're like, oh, hey, we need a strong call to action. We got to sell product. We got to move product. It's like, yes, 100%. There's a time and place for that. But based off user intent, if someone's in the awareness stage of the funnel and they're just getting familiar with your brand and they're not ready to pull the trigger on a piece of $50,000 equipment, we understand that. So how are we moving them throughout the funnel to get them down there? And the content is super important.
How are you staying in front of them in a way that's not constantly asking for the sell?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, you think about from social media down to Google paid search to anything programmatically that we're doing, there's a certain time and place for the right message. And if you're delivering the wrong message, given that point in the sales cycle, it's a total waste.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is we have the analytics to prove that.
And, the other thing that content will do for you is elevate your SEO. So if you've got a website, you want to show up in search results, it elevates your SEO. Gives your social team something to talk about. I mean, it gives media something to point to other than
absolutely
a direct ask page and things like that. So it's pretty important. It's kind of how the world works. And we're kind of in my head sitting here, I'm thinking about long form content, but social media content, email content, video content, anything that is, telling your story is content.
100%. We look at CRM strategies and what you and the team have been doing over the last, has it been almost 2 years now?
2 years, yeah.
2 years.
Going to our second inbound for HubSpot here in a couple of weeks.
There is so much information within that CRM, right? You've got them hooked, but again, they're not ready. One client that we work with, we call it the bullpen, right? We want them to graduate from the bullpen and convert as a customer.
Yep.
And so understanding through CRM strategies as well is huge. A lot of B2B companies that I talk to, there's one we're talking to right now. They are in the process of implementing a CRM. Fantastic. A lot of them do not have CRMs.
Yeah,
it's the traditional sales. Hey, I've got this Excel sheet. Here's some leads. Are they good leads?
It almost seems
tricky.
Impossible to me now to think about how would you do this without CRM.
It's still a thing. Or hey, we have a CRM, but we got some data, and we're just really not sure what to do with it. And we don't have the time. We have a client based outside of Denver, and they've got a great CRM. They've got great information. They don't have the time to work through it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So just as you think through the paid aspect, the CRM strategies, having that plan together is so important. And you guys know that. But guess what? You guys are busy people. And so from a partnership standpoint, this is prime time of year for us. It's my favorite time of year. Then again, I really like the spring and the summer when it comes around too. So maybe it's just I'm just ready for fall. I just like all times of year. But in a serious way, like this is a time to come up, get out of the weeds, come to 30,000 feet, and think strategically about what are your business objectives for 2024, and how are you aligning your marketing team to meet those objectives. Now more than ever, CMOs, VPs of marketing, etc., are facing tremendous pressure. They got to sell stuff. And you guys are softening the beaches for your sales team when you implement smart, strategic, media, analytics, CRM, whatever it may be in the marketing world strategies. And we want to equip you with that.
Yeah, we like doing it.
So we sign off today in the sense of we're gonna send this out to our prospective clients, and we would love to chat with you on how we can help you in 2024. And I don't think we've ever been that bold before, but this is our bread and butter, and we love it. What do you think?
I think your last bullet point said sign off with a strong CTA.
Boom.
Mission accomplished.
You know what? I saw that earlier, and I was like, I don't even remember writing that. I wrote the script this week, by the way. I don't think I'm allowed to write scripts anymore.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I think this was a pretty good one, though.
I think this is good.
Yeah, this is good.
As we sign off, what's our minute mark? I'm going to say 16.
Oh, I'm going to say
not anywhere close. Don't give him that, Brandon.
18.
How are you always right?
I don't know. I have a gift.
You do have a gift. Before Brenda takes it away, happy media planning season.
Yes.
Happy back to school season. For those in the Midwest, it's still 100 degrees. Katie Kite had a pumpkin spice latte earlier. That's a bold move, but I'm hoping that's channeling some good fall vibes.
Yeah, and hopefully you get all the players you want in your fantasy football drafts coming up in the next week.
Yeah. May the odds be ever
in your favor, yes.
Okay, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you, guys.
Adios.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. We hope you've enjoyed our little chat and found ways to grow your own marketing strategies. Remember to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and follow us on social media @Littlefield Agency.